Welcome to Fountain Pen World, and here is my second video. The first part of this mini-series called Parts and Features of Fountain Pens covered caps and trims of a fountain pen. This video covers the barrel providing the ink reservoir, the various materials fountain pens are made of, and some of the various filling systems. So basically, this here is a barrel, and this is the grip section. Unscrewing the barrel from the grip section, and we see, for example, here a converter. And first things first, let's look at the appearance and visual differences. Some fountain pens are equipped with a metal grip section, like this Chinese made pen branded as Senri Mai Gem Peacock, where the barrel is made from malachite, which is a copper carbonate hydroxide mineral with an inner metal core inside here. We can see that, maybe not that very good. There is a inner metal, brass most probably, and this is the malachite, equipped with metal threads and a metal end. And here we have that grip section made also from metal. The metal grips are often appearing in my book as a disruption of the overall visual appearance when the barrel is obviously made from non-metal. My guess, these metal grip sections are short section, are made from one single piece of metal, more or less standardized regarding inner and outer dimensions and cutted threads, and are a cost-reducing factor for manufacturers. To limit the effect of not matching with the overall appearance of the fountain pen, they are often optically enhanced by colored alloys or satin finishes, like here. This is colored, golden colored finish, quite well made. Where is the focus? Quite well made. So all in all, with this fountain pen, it fits somehow. The overall appearance is quite nice. It's quite heavy because of that malachite and, of course, the metal section. This is a number 5 standard nib, Chinese made, writing very well, surprisingly. Depending on the quality of the execution of those enhancements, this can certainly be successful. Other results may give the impression, well, we wanted, but we couldn't, or doesn't matter how it looks like, at this price, no need to complain. And many fountain pen users dislike a metal pen or even a metal grip section due to a slippery feeling that they might provide. Many different materials are used in the manufacture of writing instruments. Metals. Non-rust metals like brass, but quite heavy, or aluminum and titanium, though lightweight materials, but need special tools, machines, and skills to get the desired shapes. Plastics, from very many different starting materials. I don't use the term plastic now as a derogatory way, just as a collective term for all artificially produced materials, such as plastics of different quality grades. Ebonite, which is also available from natural materials, resin, PMMA, ABS, acrylics, cellulose acetate or celluloid, and very expensive due to the many different production steps of this celluloid. Early fountain pens, now called vintage, often used hard rubber or even bakelite. All these materials are coming in different quality grades and price levels. However, there is little transparency about the materials and quality levels used to produce a $400, a $1,500, or a $15 fountain pen. Up to $40. Personally, I don't expect superior materials, and often my prejudice was wrong. In general, I wish that all manufacturers and retailers who claim prices of more than $75 for any writing instrument should be forced by law to clearly state the used materials and other quality grades, not just for fun, but this way customers will receive an enhanced transparency. Stating simply resin is in my book not enough information, and way too often I got the feeling that some retailers are just writing something which they believe is an enhancing selling point. Some, not everyone. Getting detailed information, customers are finally enabled to do their own check and could much easier decide if they are willing to lay down $400 for a fountain pen, if they want to go that extra mile. Let's look at designs and shapes of fountain pen barrels. Not each and every fountain pen comes in the typical rounded shape, like this Mont Blanc 146. I think either you can call it cigar-shaped or torpedo-shaped. This is the easiest way for manufacturers to produce and the most common, well-known shape by most users. There are many variations in the shape of fountain pens. Top and end finials can be rounded like a cigar or as a torpedo, like, for example, another Sailor 1911 L Mackie A, or a flat Delta Deutsche Vita. This is the version 2, flat top, flat end finial, rather girthy, or squared, like this Hero 979. Square, round, an interesting clip, or showing a pointed or tapered or conical shaped top on cap and the end of the barrel, like this Leonardo Momento Zero model. We look here, that's conical shaped as far as we can see, and the end finial is also a conical shaped material. Other barrels are designed in a hexagon, octagon, or nonagon shape, like this Pen BBS 380 made from aluminum. You can see, I think this is a nonagon or octagon shape. Flat top, flat bottom. Completely made out of aluminum. And this is a very smooth feeling. Only the threads are a little bit, well, I wouldn't say sharp, but they could interfere when writing. But nevertheless, this fountain pen is a very, very nice writer, very well tipped, writing softly, smoothly, giving excellent lines, and has a quite interesting body. Those shaped barrels are keeping a fountain pen away from rolling around on a desk, like here. You can put it on the desk, and you see it doesn't roll. But this one also, well, it rolls a little bit, even though it is shaped as well. I think this is hexagon shape. Anyway, it's a quite helpful feature besides the interesting and unusual design, I think, in my book. Even a triangle-shaped body is on the market. Pineider launched its Modern Times model and Omas launched its first 360 model already during the 1990s. I don't own one or the other, as they are quite expensive. In general, fountain pen shapes are a wide field for designers to create free space for their creativity, which holds true as well for the coloring. In the old days and for decades, a fountain pen was black with gold trims, period. Montblanc, 146. And that changed already with Parker's Duofold series from the 1920s and Parker's Vacuumatics from 1932 until 1953 in production. The history of Parker fountain pens is a rich heritage, and they made an enormous contribution to the worldwide fountain pen market, influencing millions of customers and competitors as well. Let's stay a bit with Parker fountain pens. The first big success was the launch of the Duofold back in the 1920s. I don't have one of them. I would like to have, but they are expensive. A large fountain pen. Soon it got colors other than the traditional black, all made from hard rubber. Smaller Duofolds followed and budget versions. But the Great Depression, which followed that terrible Black Friday stock market crash and held for some years a tight and grim grip, it caught nearly everybody and Parker as well. In the early 1930s, they decided to invest at that time the huge amount of money, namely US dollars 125,000, to invent a successor for the Duofold. After some years, with the help of DuPont and some well-known designers, the Parker Vacuumatic was finally born, made from a new celluloid, semi-transparent in stunning colors and a unique design, with incorporated tasteful stripes, as you can see here. This is my Parker Vacuumatic from around 1944 or 45. It's a gold nib, of course. At that time, nearly everybody made gold nibs. It was affordable. And the arrow-shaped clip was another noticeable detail. And the new filling system, called the Vacuumatic, 3 different generations were designed throughout its lifetime. In my book, still one of the most fascinating fountain pen designs ever. The Vac Short was launched in 1932 and skyrocketed from the get-go. 1948, the Parker US factory stopped the production. Only the Canadian Parker factory continued for 5 further years its production. Many more details can be obtained at parkerpen, small letters and one word, .net. My personal guess is that Parker's Vacuumatic series opened a floodgate for designers all over the world and heavily influenced still today's designers due to the simple fact everything is possible, will attract customers and can be sold. Nowadays, at least to me, I find some designs really stunning and eye-catching, some other color combinations of many swirls and dots and lines reminds me more of a bad LSD trip. Just a question of personal tastes. Acrylic materials made fountain pens transparent, and so the demonstrator was born. Showing the entire ink reservoir allowed the user to have a clear look at the swirling ink, the remaining amount of ink, and offers a clear view of the filling mechanism. Not everyone's taste, but successful as well. This Chinese-made and inexpensive, good quality fountain pen, the Fuliwen 017, is a fine example of a psychedelic and colorful design, and surprisingly, I like it. I did a nib swap towards an Indian-made bee nib, which was a challenge. I do really like these swirls and different colors. I do like the grip section. Very smooth steps. A ring which is not supposed to hold the fountain pen in a pocket or something like that. And it's quite nice. It's really looking. And this bee nib, which I changed, fits more to the overall, yeah, a little bit oversized girth of the pen. I like it very much. Or the puristic demonstrator designs of this Chinese-made fountain pen named Kali Arts Ego 2, which I showed already in the first video. That's also quite interesting. Really see-through acrylic or even plastic, but I think it's acrylic. You can see the piston. You can see the amount of ink. It has an F and an EF nib, which came both with the fountain pen when delivered. It has really a very, very, come in, go in. Yeah, there you see. It has really a very puristic design. Only a clip, silver colored, and that's it. But I like it. I really like it. And it writes like a dream. Both F and EF nibs worked without any additional work on it. All the classic design of this Pelikan Sovereign, where we are here. This is the Pelikan Sovereign. It's only the M400, which was quite affordable. I bought it at roughly, I think, $200 on Amazon. It was the last one in stock at this particular supplier. And the M600, M800, M1000R was so very, very much overpriced. I don't want to spend that amount of money just for a bigger size. And there is a not that big difference between an M400 and an M600. But look at this striped celluloid. That's a classic design of Pelikan, and I like that black cap with the pelican beak shaped clip, the finial. Where is the focus? Not available at the moment. But anyway, it's a piston filler, and Pelikan nibs, they are a class of its own. This one, I think, is a medium, but it writes, wow, fantastic. It gives lines which have really a great character. Nearly, I think, every handwriting will be a little bit will look a little bit better when using a Pelikan nib. I can't say enough about Pelikans and the qualities, but of course also about the pricing, which is, in my eyes, a little bit over the top and not affordable for really everyone. And I think this is something Pelikan should take into consideration when they are doing their price policy. But on the other hand, it took them several decades to become to enter the Olymp of the fountain pen world. And now I'm losing I lost my way a little bit. Okay, we are back. Another classic design often copied, the Mont Blanc Meisterstück. Here is that model MB146 Le Grand Meisterstück. I really have to say the focus is not working well. Absolutely not. I'm sorry for that. I don't know what it's caused. What is the reason for that? High polished, shiny black and gold plated trims together with the extremely well writing Mont Blanc nibs. Or this Delta Dolce Vita midsize 2023 model. And this is just one of my personal grail pens, a classic but also a very notable design due to its girthy, maybe bulky scale and that orange color sporting the white ice dots. I simply love it. Let's have a look at it in detail. That's a Jovo nib, branded with Delta. Already the band. This is really something very nice. That clip, stunning. Overall, the design, absolutely great. Well, just a few to mention. I don't have all these many iconic, very high-priced fountain pens, for example, from Visconti, from Aurora, and so many other well-known brands. I strictly stick to what I'm willing to spend and try to get hold of outstanding and yet still affordable fountain pens. Shapes and colorings are eye-catching. They are sales and purchasing arguments at the same time. And there is more to the barrel than only being a beautiful or ugly shaped and colored nib holder. To reveal its other important purpose, let's open this Visconti van Gogh, like here. Putting that a little bit back into focus by unscrewing the barrel from the grip section. You see also this Van Gogh series is sporting a metal grip section. I'm not very fond of it. The barrel is made most probably of resin, PMMA, whatever, maybe an octagon shape. Very nice colors, that green and then this orange. Now we are talking about the different filling systems of a fountain pen. Directly or indirectly, the barrel works as an ink reservoir. Looking at the Van Gogh model, we see a converter. When you have a converter, pre-filled cartridges can be also used. Some piston fillers do not allow the barrel and grip section to be unscrewed. Cleaning them can be done by filling the pen repeatedly with a piston mechanism or removing the piston with a wrench, which might lead to a lot of headaches when assembling the piston again in case the piston parts had been moved during disassembling. There are plenty of videos which are showing how to disassemble properly a piston filler or a piston from a fountain pen. The easiest way might be to remove nib and feeder or unscrew the entire housing and do the cleaning of the barrel with a cotton swab to remove ink residues. At this point, we are touching some basic physical laws by finding answers to the questions: how do fountain pen works? Why do they write? Why do they give the right amount of ink to the nib tip? Why can they be filled with ink? Inking up a fountain pen had always been, and sometimes still can be, a messy operation. Fountain pens and ink bottles are smaller ink wells, belong together unless you are only using cartridges. So, filling systems, just to mention the most common systems. CC, short for cartridge converter. Eyedropper, piston filling, vacuum filler. Cartridges are plastic tubes filled with up to 1 milliliter or more, or even more ink, depending on the length and scale of the tube. Let's have a look at this. These are some Chinese replacement cartridge converters. And let's see what I have here. Another cartridge converter. This is very, very, okay. Here we are back. Sorry for that, but yeah, well, I'm not a professional. That's a long cartridge. It's a Chinese made and not international standard, by the way. Most brands are following the international standard, with exactly specified dimensions. Most important, the inner diameter of 4 millimeter of that inner opening here. You can see that here. And the diameter inside is exactly 4 millimeter. Some brands don't follow, offering their own proprietary cartridges and converters like Lamy, Parker, Cross, Pilot, Sailor, Platinum. And that's not the end. Some Chinese brands like Hongdiang or Wingsang are using the Chinese big bore standard of a 3.4 millimeter inner opening diameter, like this larger cartridge here, which had been supplied to me with a bunch of Hongdiang fountain pens. It is smaller than the standard international cartridges. Many more details can be found on unsharpened.com. Small, one word, unsharpened.com, giving a lot of interesting information about cartridges. The cartridge has to be inserted and pressed onto the nipple of the feet, like Jinhao X159 number 6 steel F unit. Let's see if I can find it here. Here it is. So exactly immediately it comes. So this is the nipple. This is the housing, and inside, pressed in, is that feeder and the nib. By the way, there will be a third video concentrating just only on nibs and feeders and a little bit of the housing. So here you see that nipple I'm speaking about here. And when you push in the cartridge, that small ball will be removed, and then it's swirling in the ink, working as an agitator, and yeah, you are ready to write. As mentioned, a small plastic ball which sealed the cartridge before is now acting, I think here we can see it, or where is it? Before it is now acting as an agitator inside the tube, ensuring that ink flows and air will be released at the same time. And that can be only achieved if the cartridge or converter sits absolutely airtight on the feed. With a syringe, empty cartridges can be refilled as well. Converters are following the same method, only they are following more the principle of a piston mechanism. Two ways to fill them up: with a syringe, with the side effect, so putting in the syringe here, with a side effect that nib and feed aren't soaked with ink, and it will take some time until the ink from the converter reaches the nib tip. And that can be annoying. Or just dip the fountain pen with the mounted converter into the ink bottle. Turn the knob clockwise to press air out of the chamber. Turn the knob counterclockwise. The rod goes up. Let's see. This is clockwise. And now counterclockwise. Going down. And we assume that there is an ink bottle. Now we do that process again, and then ink should come up, because there is a vacuum created before. By pushing out the air here, now there should be no air or only a little bit air in this part. And when we push back, the ink will be soaked up. And depending on the air tightness of the whole system, the ink will, better to say, the reservoir will be filled completely with ink or only half. So let's assume we are ready to write, as long as the necessary vacuum was ensured. A simple method and easier to clean than any piston or vacuum filling system. Many different converters are on the market. Pay attention to the price. Check the dimensions before you buy, making sure you get the correct converter for your fountain pen, and get a quality converter, durable plastic or glass, sturdy metal parts, and sturdy turning knobs. One can find easily converters of bad quality. Though they are cheap, they aren't worth a cent, simply because they don't fit together. They don't fit tightly, don't ensure air tightness. The filling mechanism may work a few times before it breaks. The plastic tube may crack, and many more unwanted flaws. And I made my experience with that, believe me. Cartridges, converters, pistons, vac fillers, they all work according to the same physical principles. All fluids flow downwards. Air inside the feeder is going to be pressed out by the downward flowing ink. Ink finally reaches the nib tip, and we can put strokes onto paper. In other words, a fountain pen is also a controlled leakage, as long as the exchange of air and ink works properly. Inking a pen up uses a vacuum, means air is going to be pressed out of the empty ink reservoir, keeping the pen's nib and feed into the ink bottle. Hear the bubbles when pressing the air out by using the filling mechanism, turning the piston or converter knobs, or pulling out the rod of a vacuum filler. If no bubbles can be seen or heard, something is wrong. The mandatory vacuum isn't existing. To finally get ink into the ink reservoir, the process is going to be reversed by turning the piston back or pushing down the rod of the vacuum filler. Now ink is sucked up instead of air, as long as nib and feed remain properly immersed in the ink glass. Removing the filled pen requires some attention. Immediately place it in an upright position, like this. Means the tip is pointing upwards. Ideally, you should prepare before inking by having a tissue handy to remove ink from the grip section. That's all. Gravity ensures a writing pen as long as it is filled and air and ink are properly exchanged. Eyedropper. This Moonman Majon S5, where are we? I think this is the one, is a demonstrator and pure eyedropper, made from acrylic, sturdy and durable. Unscrew the cap, unscrew the barrel from the section. Pay attention not to lose that O-ring here. And it should be basically, no, it's factory made. Yeah, anyway, don't lose this O-ring. And then using a syringe, filling up the barrel. Put the open barrel in an upright position like here. Dip a syringe or pipette into the opened ink glass, fill it with ink, and finally fill the barrel carefully and slowly with ink. Screw the section back on the barrel and pay attention that the O-ring sits in its correct position. Ready. Cleaning the pen regularly, especially when storing it away for a longer period of time, isn't a bad idea at all. Some people may think, what an effort to write. No, thanks. For me, the inking process, the cleaning process, have always somehow of a calming effect. And sometimes even new fountain pens need some attention before they do the job as we expected it. Part 3 will cover nips and feeds, essential parts, and my intention is to cover not only basics, but look into some details as well. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time, and always enjoy your fountain pens.